Greetings everyone, my name is Aaron Craig with Beyond Us Games, and in this GameMaker Studio tutorial I'll be showing you how to import and animate your sprites and explaining how to do each step and what a sprite sheet is and things like that along the way. The end result of what we'll be making will look something like this. We'll have a skeleton that moves around, and he's actually animated there as he's walking, going every direction, diagonal, all that good stuff. And then when he stops, he actually stops animating, and I think it actually looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and get started. We will need 4 sprites overall. If you don't understand why we'll need 4, just follow along and you'll get it before too long. We're going to name them Sprite, Skeleton, and we'll name them each direction that we'll actually be wanting him to go. So the first one will be up. Click on Edit Sprite, and now go into File, and we're going to create from strip. What this does is it actually allows us to import an entire sprite sheet strip and allows us to get one thing out of it at a time. So you can see here that this is a sprite sheet. Transparent background makes it easy to import things, and he's got rows of animations of images that when put together makes it look like he's doing something. Sprite sheets can come in lots of different forms and backgrounds and whatever the case may be. This one is really nice because they put it all together in a 64 by 64 pixel size with even spacing throughout the whole thing. This is an ideal sprite sheet. So we're going to need 9 images and 9 images per row that are 64 by 64 pixels. Now I know this because if you look right here, there are 9 images and they're all in one row. And we're going to actually pull all of those out into one sprite. And what's really nice is that we've got this little box selector. So we can put that around the first one, and then it's actually evenly spaced, so we're going to be pulling in all of them. Click OK, and now we've got 9 images in our sprite. So you also want to go up to Transform and Trim border size of 0. And that's great to do because this is actually going to be the hitbox and the collision checking once you get further into your game with like walls and houses and enemies and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and make the rest of the sprites. Alright, so I've made 2, and I'm going to make the rest of them, but I will jump through and I'll see you guys on the other side because making the rest of the sprites is nice and simple and you don't need to watch me do it. Alright, so now we have 4 sprites, and each sprite is a series of images animating in the direction that he'll actually be walking. So we need to create an object, and we're going to name it obj skeleton. And we're going to assign it the down sprite just so that it looks nice when we first place it in the level. Go ahead and click OK on that, and we're going to create a room. And we're just going to go into our objects, and we're going to add in that skeleton. So now he's in the room, which is great, but he's not going to be doing much yet. So let's hop back into that object, and we're going to create 2 events, one of them being a create event. And I'm going to be using a variable here, and if you don't understand variables, don't worry about it. I can make another video or answer some questions if you've got them, but if you follow along perfectly, you shouldn't have any issues. So we're going to name this walk speed, and we're going to set it equal to 4. And then we're going to go in and we're going to say image speed equals 0. What this is going to do is it's going to make it so that the animation isn't going to play at all. Otherwise, it's going to just automatically flip through all the images. And if we look at this, we can actually see a preview. So it would just look like that right away when he's not moving, when he's not doing anything. We don't want that. Instead, we're going to want him to animate only when we are pressing a certain key, moving a direction. So go ahead and create another event, which is a step and a step event. Drag in some code, and I am going to paste in, I'm going to paste in the movement that I've already got made, and it's just a simple basic movement scheme. So if you are unfamiliar with how to do it, then go ahead and pause the video, copy what I've got here. I'm just checking the keyboard for a key and then moving them in that direction, and also making sure that they don't run into anything. So now we need to adjust what happens when we press a certain key, because the object, the skeleton, will move around right now, but his animation isn't going to change depending on what we do. So we're going to go in and set his image speed equal to a formula. So just follow along here. It's going to be it's going to be walk speed divided by room speed. Now what this actually does is it sets the animation equal to how fast the character is walking. And this is a really nice effect, because if he was moving slowly, obviously you'd want him to walk slower. But if you ever had him run, this means that he is automatically going to run with his animation as well. He's going to move faster. And then we're going to set the sprite index, which is choosing the sprite that we want to show on our object, and we're going to set that equal to the corresponding key that we're pressing. So we're pressing W here, which is going to be SPR skeleton up. And we can go ahead and copy in and paste both of these, and all we have to do is to change here is what sprite index we are assigning. So we're going to say sprite skeleton left. And we're going to go in and we're going to change each one. So we're going to say SPR skeleton down and SPR skeleton right. Now when we press play, we've got a skeleton that moves around and is animated. We are almost done. Right, down, left, up, diagonal. Everything looks great. Only problem is he continues to animate even when we are not moving, which if you had like an idle animation here of him like shrugging, breathing, reading a book, whatever, that would be fine if that was his idle animation. But the thing is that it's not. He continues to play whatever animation he was in, and it doesn't look good. So we need to add in one more check in here, and it's going to be a keyboard check, and it's going to be for VK underscore no key. What that means is that this is saying if no keyboard key is currently being pressed, do this. And this we want to set to image speed equals 0. So he will no longer be animating. And image index equal to 0. So the image index are these numbers right here. You've got 0 through 8 on this particular sprite. And we're going to set it equal to 0, saying whatever direction you're walking, whatever sprite we've assigned you to, go back to your first one. That is going to make him actually look really nice when he stops, because it'll actually look like he shuffles his feet and actually gets back in that standing position. And now when he walks around, moves around, he'll stop, just like that. It looks really nice, and that's the basic of importing and animating your sprite in GameMaker. I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for other videos you'd like to see, leave them in your comments below. I wish you guys the best of luck and fun in game creating, and have a great day.